Hey everyone, in this video we're gonna learn how to install OpenAlgo if you are a Groww user, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'll go to the Groww API portal, right? So groww.in/trade-API. So from here I'll go to the get started section. So you may have to log in with your credential. In my case, I had already done with that. And I'll go to the generate API key section, right? So probably you can find this on the extreme left hand side, the API key section. From there, I'll go to the generate API key. And then I'm gonna say OpenAlgo underscore grow. So the name can be anything for your understanding. So I'll click on continue. It creates an API key and API secret key. So copy this API key and API secret key separately, and this is the one we're gonna use it while installing OpenAlgo, right? So once the API key is generated, next I'm gonna launch VS Code. So here is my VS Code here. I'll go to file, open folder. I'm going to create a new folder where I'm going to install OpenAlgo, right? So I'll go to the docs. I'll go to the D drive. I'll create a folder name. I'll just give a name like OpenAlgo-grow. Again, the folder name can be anything. So I had created an project folder, OpenAlgo-grow. And then I'm going to go to the terminal. I'll create a new terminal over here, right? So if you are a first time user, so what you need to ensure, you are installing Python. So Python -- version, ensure that you are installing the version anywhere between 3.12 to 3.14. And second thing is you need to install Git. So Git is very essential for downloading the complete OpenAlgo source code from GitHub -- version, right? And finally, you have to do pip install UV. This will be installing the UV package manager for faster library installation and upgrades, right? So ensure that pip install UV you are installing globally. So these three things are very much essential, right? And once this is done, right, ensure that Control-Shift-P, you also go to the Python select interpreter and ensure that you select the version of your choice. In my case, I had already had a 3.12, 3.13 and 3.14. So I'm selecting 3.14 already. So this is a one-time setup. Apart from that, you also have to ensure that you are going to the extension and you are installing the extensions like Python and Pylance, right? So these are some of the extensions which are very critical extension. You have to ensure that you are installing from the VS Code extension. It is kind of an you downloading mobile application from an Android store or an iOS store, something similar to that. So you have to install these Python and also Pylance, and if possible, you also better install the Jupyter as well. So Pylance you have to install, and the most important one is like Jupyter, particularly if you want to try building strategies, or if you're a beginner, you want to practice OpenAlgo. So then Jupyter will be very, very helpful for you, right? So once everything is done, right, once all these extensions are done, now we are good to go and install OpenAlgo. So I'll go to the OpenAlgo portal. So if you go to the OpenAlgo portal, you'll be finding this GitHub link. So click on that, copy the link, right? And once the link, the URL is copied, now come to the OpenAlgo Grow folder, type git clone and paste the link and type enter. That should be completely downloading the OpenAlgo, right? In other words, we call it as cloning OpenAlgo. Now, once the OpenAlgo is downloaded, I'll go to cd space OpenAlgo, right? So that will be entering into the OpenAlgo folder. So inside OpenAlgo folder, if you would have seen that, you will be having a very important file called .sample.env, right? So .sample.env file. Now this contains probably this is where we're going to keep our API key and API secret of Groww, and we're going to set it up. So actually this is the sample file. We have to copy the file. So cp is the command for copy, .sample.env followed by a space .env, and then I'm going to type enter. So that will be creating the .env file. So this is where I'm going to keep all my secrets and the configuration related to Groww, right? So I'll go and get the API key and API secret. Very quickly, I'll go to the portal where we had copied the API key. So I'll go and paste it over here. And likewise, I'll also go and get the API secret as well. So copy the API secret, paste it over here, save this, right? And also ensure that the redirect URL, I'm going to change it to groww, and this should be exactly the same way that we kept in our valid broker list. There is a valid broker list is there. So among that, the Groww is here. So exact same case is what you have to keep it. Not in uppercase, not in a mix of lowercase and uppercase. It is exactly the lowercase, right? So once I done it, you just save it. If you don't save it, you'll be finding a value called 1 over here. That means the file is not saved. So you press Ctrl S, automatically it gets saved, right? Now we are good to launch OpenAlgo. So I'm going to type like uv run app.py. So that will be creating a virtual environment, and it will be installing all the libraries. Close 177 libraries are getting installed, and it launches OpenAlgo, right? So once the banner is arrived, right? So wait for the text saying that the Flask application is started. So that might initially take some 5 to 10 seconds, so that once it is over, you can start accessing OpenAlgo at port 5000, right? So from your browser, you can just either you can copy that, or you can also do a control click. So as you can see that the serving Flask app or debug mode off. If it is coming up, that means your OpenAlgo is already running, and we are good to go. And I'm gonna launch OpenAlgo here, control click, and that will be automatically opening up OpenAlgo here. Login. For the very first time, it is gonna ask you to enter you have to create credentials to access OpenAlgo. I'll click on login. It goes to the initial setup page. This is a one-time setup. And as you know, OpenAlgo is a single user app. So I'll create my login, right? So enter the password, credentials and everything, create an account, and there you go. So we done with our initial registration, right? Now I'm gonna log into my OpenAlgo account, enter my password. Once I'm done with that, I'll click on connect account, and that will be taking it to my Groww account, right? And that will be immediately, it will be start downloading the master contract as well. Now once the master contract is downloaded, right, now we are already prepared for fully automated trading. Now we have this, by default we are in a live mode, right? So if I want to change to sandbox mode, all I have to do is like I have to just flip the switch here to analyzer mode. Automatically it will be changing to the analyzer mode. So in analyzer mode, you can test your strategies before deploying it in live. So once your strategy is tested in the analyzer mode, right, you can obviously switch back to live mode for live trading. And you also have this API key section. So if in case you want to send any orders from TradingView or Excel or Python or anywhere outside OpenAlgo, you want to transmit your order to OpenAlgo, then this API key is very much required. This API key is not the broker API key. This API key belongs to you, and the complete data sits in your local database. And you also have a choice to transmit your order fully automatically, or you can also switch back to semi-automatic mode, so that if any orders that you are sending now, right, it will be go and queued, it will be sitting in the action center. So you can find the action center over here, right, where you have to go and approve the order, right? This is for the very beginners or who are not comfortable, who want to gain confidence in how the automatic trading works. For them, the semi-automatic will be very helpful. And somebody who is very comfortable in automated trading, they can always switch back to automated mode. So now in the automated mode, any orders coming to OpenAlgo instantly it'll get executed. It can be, your order can be coming from any platform of your choice, right? Even it can be from a Google spreadsheet, it can be from AmiBroker, it can be from TradingView, Python, or any kind of external application can send orders through OpenAlgo, right? It will be seamlessly getting executed faster. And then we have the OpenAlgo playground, so where you can go and test your orders, you can try fetching the data, right? So this is a playground to practice, right? So ensure that if you want to test anything in the live markets, definitely, let's say like I'm gonna go and try something like a multi-codes, I'll try to send, I'll be able to get those multi-code details over here, right? Or if I want option chain, I can get the option chain, option Greeks, option symbols. A lot of functions are available. You can go and play with that. Or if in case if you feel like live order you don't want to test, this is like if I try to send a place order over here, and I'm in a live mode, this will be sent directly to the broker server. But whereas if I want to test something, then I can always flip to analyzer mode, and in the analyzer mode I can go and send an order, and kind of an simulated orders will be happening over here, so that you can understand how things works before testing, or before deploying your trading strategies. If you want to play with your APIs in a playground, you can very easily go and play and try and test it out before taking in live decisions in the markets, right? Now coming back to the dashboard, right? So the dashboard, in the analyzer mode, you'll be getting some sandbox capital, which can be controlled from the sandbox section over here, right? So where you can go and set how much test money you want to test your strategies. Along with that, you also have an access to track your Telegram alerts. So if you want to send any Telegram alerts, so any orders that you are sending, so you can also go to the Telegram section, configure your Telegram bot, and from there you can start the bot over here. Automatically any alerts about orders, or you can also inquire the LTPs and everything. So you can play with the Telegram bots. Probably I'll provide you the link in the YouTube description where you can get to know how to play with the Telegram alerts. And then if you want to download the data from your broker and organize the data, so we have Historify. So the Historify is the place where you can use this as a data download for backtesting purpose or data visualization purpose, right? The data is stored in DuckDB, and DuckDB is really fastest when it comes to backtesting. And apart from that, we have the profile section, so where you can go and check the your profile if you want to change your passwords, or if you want to, let's say like you forgot your password and you want to change your password, then you want to send an email alert to you that to change a new password. Automatically you have to go and set up the SMTP server credentials. You can follow up the configuration details, so that if you forgot the password, right, automatically you will be able to reset. Either you can use SMTP or you can use the TOTP. If in case we are using the TOTP, you have to scan it, and then you can later on you can use it to reset your password. So these are the two mechanisms to reset your password. And we have like theme section where we have multiple themes which are already available, and this theme works only in the live environment. Analyzer mode, you cannot able to change the theme, but if you are in a live mode, you will be allowed to change the theme. Let's say you want a greenish theme or maybe an orangish theme, you can go and select those skin color, right? So accordingly the theme will be applied. And we also have the system section where ensure that all the systems are okay, all the directory permissions are okay over here, right? So if in case something is not right, you will be having a fix button to fix the permission. And if you want to change the toast alert control, this is for the people who are highly placing large amount of orders. So such kind of alerts, if you want to control, you have the rights to control what alert you want to see. If you don't want an order notification alert, you can disable it. If you don't want an analyzer mode switching thing, you can disable list of alerts. You can control it from here. And if in case if you want to change the broker credentials also, you can change it from here, right? So that is totally possible. And then we have flow section, so flow editor, where you can create your own automated no code workflows. And then we have probably something like Python strategy, where you can host and you can run your own Python strategy inside OpenAlgo itself. And we also have a PNL tracker to track intraday PNL. So kind of an historical intraday PNL you can able to track. Search section, this is where the most important one, where let's say you want to search for a particular instrument. It could be an equity instrument or futures instrument or MCX instrument. You can go and search it from here, right? And basically you always, what will be displayed is like only the OpenAlgo common symbol will be displayed. Maybe I'll show you a sample over here. Let's say something like I'll go to Nifty futures and options. I'll ensure that I want an instrument type as like futures. I'll try to type Nifty over here. So Nifty April futures, and I'll search for it. Once you search for it, you will be able to find two different set of symbols over here. One is a broker symbol, what broker uses in their broker terminal. However, we follow always the OpenAlgo standard symbol format across all the brokers, right? Not only just with Groww, but across all the brokers. We have a common symbol format. So you should be familiar about OpenAlgo symbols. And this is the OpenAlgo symbol you'll be using everywhere. If you see in the order book, trade book, position book, or in holdings, everywhere you will be seeing only the symbols only. So even if you want to place order, you should consider using only the OpenAlgo symbol, not the broker symbol, right? So broker symbol is only kept for your reference, right? So, and you'll be able to see the lot size, freeze quantity, everything will be updated here. We also have the log section, where you can track the live logs and sandbox logs. We have a latency monitor to track how faster the orders are getting executed. We also have the traffic monitor to see all the incoming HTTP requests. If in case you're concerned about bot attacks or something like that, you can monitor the security logs, and health monitor to check is there any memory leak or something like that is there or not, right? So apart from that, we also have tool section, where you can go and check out the option chain and option visualization. Various options visualization methodologies are already available there, right? So, and then we have platform section. This is for the people who want to use TradingView or Go Charting or charting. This section requires an optional thing called ngrok connectivity, and either ngrok or DevTunnel, right? It's optional. Ngrok is totally optional. Maybe if you are hosting in your own custom domain, you don't need that. But if you are, let's say, if you are directly opening TradingView, your webhook will not be accessible, because you need to have a webhook. That is only possible if you are either using ngrok or Cloudflare or VS Code DevTunnel. Those instructions you can find in the documentation. If you go to the documentation, you can find how to install ngrok, or you can also find how to implement such kind of things, right? So if you can go and find DevTunnel, how to play with that, how to configure DevTunnels, or how to play with Cloudflare with custom domains. Or if in case if you are installing for Windows, you have a how to install ngrok and how to play with ngrok, how to configure ngrok. All those details are available as a video tutorial and also documented properly in OpenAlgo, right? So only these section under the platform section is kind of very useful for the people who want to execute their strategies from TradingView, but they want to transmit their orders to the broker. Then this is very, very helpful. Then we have a strategy section, where you can play with the strategies from TradingView or AMI Broker or Python. So currently it is very pretty basic. It has a very basic risk management system there. Mostly if you are an intraday trader or a positional trader playing with portfolio of strategies, you can use under the strategy section over here, right? So I guess that's a brief about it. And we also have a tiny place where you can also switch between light theme as well as a dark theme as well, right? But this light theme and dark theme, you will not be able to switch if you are using the analyzer mode. So I guess that's all about using OpenAlgo basics. On a daily basis, you have to log in, because automatically OpenAlgo will log out automatically around 3 o'clock, and that setting is part of the .env configuration. If in case if you are trying to log out, right, you will be getting an confirmation logout alert as well. That means if you log out, all your automated orders will be stopped. So even if you close your OpenAlgo, still your strategies will be working fine. You can always go back to your portal and then log in automatically. Nothing will be happening. So ensure that your OpenAlgo is running here. If your OpenAlgo is running, even if you close OpenAlgo, close this particular tab, your automation will be running. But if you log out of the screen, right, that means you are stopping your automation. All your automation will be stopped, right? So irrespective of how many strategies that you are running, which platform you are running, right, everything will be stopped. Even if you are running any external signal from TradingView charting, everything will be stopped, right? So I guess that's all about OpenAlgo basics, but OpenAlgo is more deeper than that. I hope you will explore the documentation, which contains more detailed instructions about how to connect your favorite platforms like AmiBroker, TradingView, Go Charting, Python, Node.js, and a lot of other programming languages, Excel, Google Spreadsheets, and a lot of other things as well. Right, so I'll see you in yet another video. I hope you get a fair idea about how to play with OpenAlgo. So see you in yet another video. Thank you. Bye bye.